NAD Plus has become quite popular in the medical world, especially in the functional medicine world, the anti-aging world. And so there's a lot of complications and confusion around NAD Plus. And so I designed this video series to help you understand a little bit more about NAD Plus besides that it's just the latest and greatest thing that's come out. So I've designed this 5-part series to go over the main purposes of NAD Plus. What is the purpose of NAD Plus? And then we're going to get into a couple of the specific ones. How does NAD Plus give you energy? How does NAD Plus make you younger? And then its additional benefits of repairing DNA, boosting immunity, and actually its role in addiction. And then last but not least, we're going to get into the NAD treatment options. So this is the first part in a 5-part series. And the first part is what is the purpose of NAD? And we'll get into a little bit of the creation. First of all, what is NAD+? That's the complicated name, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. I even have to look at that because I can't even say that well. Needless to say, it is one of the most abundant and crucial molecules in our entire body, and we'll get into some of the different ways that it's actually utilized in the body. This is just a diagram of showing how it's utilized, how it's created in the body from dietary sources, and how it turns into NAD+ and changes with NADH. So who is NAD Plus good for? Basically anyone and everyone. So some of the people I came up with is this athlete down here. That's someone that's good, that does well with NAD Plus. Also someone who's well and wants to remain well. So this chubby fellow like myself might be a weekend warrior, pounding the dirt and getting some miles in. It can help him get better. The aging person, now this person actually looks like he's holding his age pretty well, but the idea is that as we age, we lose NAD+, so it can help with aging. Anyone with brain damage, like this elderly couple here, dementia, Alzheimer's, anyone with brain fog can get benefit out of NAD+. I've got ALS, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, stroke, all those things are also on the list. Next but not least is it's well known for nerve damage, and I don't know if you can see it, but these are supposed to be little ants on the feet. If you've ever talked to someone that has neuropathy, their feet feel like they're tingling and constantly being stung or bit, and it's a burning type pain. So any neuropathy, I've got diabetic neuropathy, peripheral neuropathy, as well as small fiber neuropathy, which are some autoimmune conditions. So basically NAD Plus can be used for a lot of people, but these are the basics of people who need it. Why do we need NAD+? Why do I need NAD+? The basic answer is because NAD+ levels drop as we age. And so as you can see in this diagram, it's a little complicated. You don't need to know the details, but the idea is that as we age, our NAD+ levels drop. And if NAD+ levels drop, we start aging faster and faster. So anything we can do to thwart that aging process and slow it down is a benefit. What are some of the purposes of NAD+? Remember, this is a 5-part video series, so we'll get into some of the specifics. I threw this diagram up there to give you an overall idea of just how many things NAD Plus is useful in. You probably can't read all of these things, and I don't want you to. The idea is that NAD Plus is an energy source that is utilized in every tissue, every organ, nearly, I don't want to say every biochemical process, but let's just say a lot of biochemical processes. So this is literally a diagram that goes from head to toe, literally brain all the way down to the muscles of your toes, and describes all the benefits of NAD Plus. And I like that there's 3 different ways in this diagram to boost NAD Plus. Diet is constantly overlooked. People that want to sell you NAD Plus is just going to say you got to get it from vitamin infusions and shots. And yes, we sell NAD Plus vitamin infusions. But let's not forget that you can get it from diet, and you can create your own from exercise. But if you're exercising without the appropriate diet, then you're not going to be able to make it. Right? So NAD Plus, lots of benefits, multiple ways to create it. If you're not focusing on creating it, then you're going to get depleted as you age. These are the 4 basic purposes that I want to boil NAD Plus down to, just like the past diagram. There's many, many, many other ones, but I want to first focus on how NAD Plus helps us convert food, the actual food we eat, into the molecules of energy that our body uses to churn the pumps. Next is it literally stimulates our anti-aging hormones. It stimulates it. It's not just an anti-aging molecule. It literally stimulates our own hormones to produce more anti-aging, so we're younger. Number 3, in the same vein, it stimulates DNA repair, or is used in the process of DNA repair. And it just makes sense. If your DNA is getting damaged and you're not repairing it, you're going to age faster, you're going to get cancers, you're going to get disease. DNA is the building blocks of life, right? Without it working appropriately, you're going to age inappropriately. Last but not least is it powers the immune system, and then we'll get into some other minor benefits in, I believe, the 3rd video. Those are the big 4 that I want you focused on. Those same 4 purposes I just wrote here, but we're going to go a little bit more detail. So how does NAD Plus convert energy, convert food into energy? And I don't want to get bogged down in the biochemical reasoning. I'll save that for my practitioners. But the idea is that basically NAD Plus works as a shuttle bus to carry energy from one section of the mitochondria, the thing that generates energies inside of your cell, carries it from one place to the next in order for it to actually generate energy. So that's a really complicated diagram. I've got a diagram further on when we get into that specific video. That's the next video. But I don't want to try to complicate it. Next is anti-aging. As we mentioned in the last one, it literally stimulates your hormones that create anti-aging. So it stimulates sirtuins, which is a fancy hormone, as well as the sirtuins consume the NAD+. So oddly enough, the NAD+ stimulates the production of sirtuins, but sirtuins burn the NAD+. So without enough NAD+, you don't have enough sirtuins, which then burns it, right? Sirtuins are responsible for regulating metabolism, chromosomes, brain growth, hormones, anything and everything. It does the anti-aging for us. Third is the DNA repair. Literally, NAD+ is burned in the process of DNA repair. So if you run out of NAD+ or running low on NAD+, then your DNA repair slows down. If DNA repair slows down, you die earlier. Last but not least, your immune system uses a powerful series of biochemical reactions to kill the bad guys. And without NAD+, without enough energy, it literally can't do that function. So it boosts the immune system as well. I want to get briefly into a little bit about how NAD is created. This is a complicated pathway, but we just need to keep it simple. So NR is something you might have seen on the market. It's called nicotinamide riboside. It's a product that comes in a pill form. Doesn't really work. NMN is a product people are working on coming out, not yet available. NMN is a little more close to NAD+. Obviously, it starts with NR, goes to NMN, and ends at NAD+. And so that's how it's created. This is a little bit more of a complicated diagram of saying the same thing. This section right here is what's in the bloodstream. This section over here is what's in the tissue. So basically it's showing that NMN and nicotinamide have to get into the tissue in order to generate NAD+. So it's hard to generate NAD+ just from the diet. It needs to be generated by your body, and that's where the IV infusions and injections come in, because you can cheat the diet and you can give it directly to the bloodstream. This is another purpose of NAD+. One of the funny things about NAD+ is it exists as NAD+ and NADH. Both are useful, both are needed. Typically the infusions, I shouldn't say typically, only NAD+ is the infusions. The idea behind this that I wanted to at least teach you guys was that the most important part is that these two exist in balance. You don't only need NAD+, you don't only need NADH, you need both. These do what we call hydrogen trading. So some chemical reactions take a hydrogen ion, some need to donate a hydrogen ion, and NAD+ works as the shuttle bus between them to keep things in balance. This is kind of the simple diagram. If you really care about the molecular structure, here's the hydrogen ions highlighted in red. So this molecule wants to get rid of its hydrogen ions and donates it. This molecule wants to accept hydrogen ions and steals it. And this is NAD+ and NADH trading back and forth. Once again, overly complex, doesn't really matter. You just need to know that NAD+ levels are the ones that are dropping with aging, not necessarily NADH. So that's the basics behind the beginning of NAD+ and its purposes and how it's created. In the next video, I'm going to get into how it literally stimulates your energy production, and we're going to get a little more detailed in it. But if you want to know how to treat NAD+, just jump to the 5th video, okay? So I'll see you in the next video on NAD+ stimulating energy production.